folks, why don't we throw to a couple of videos. One is the moment Katie Pastanay, she's the daughter of the Universal Farm owner, that would be Karen Esperson. The moment she heard the shots ringing out, I guess in the wee hours of the morning. Here, check it out, folks.
Did you get stuck on the other side of the fence?
No, he was on this side.
Recently?
Well, I had talked to him when we found out.
Breaking. It sounds as though gunshots are being heard at the pen. I had to fight my way to get back on the property near the farmers, so I'm unable to film at this moment what's happening from the highway. We're going to get to Katie right now as she reacts.
Did you get stuck on the other side of the fence?
No, he
Very emotional, pardon me. And why don't we also throw to a short video? This is of the Universal Farm owner, Karen Esperson. She reacts as the RCMP kills the farm lights as the slaughter begins. What the hell? Here, check it out, folks.
They don't have the right. They had lights on us for a fucking month, and now they're going to hide in the dark while they're massacring my beautiful babies, healthy babies, and they're suffering. They are committing, breaking the Animal Health Act. They are suffering. They don't die in one shot unless you hit them in the head. They're killing my babies slowly, slowly.
Wow. Well, let's go to you, Natasha. You know, I know the members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They're human beings. I'm sure many of them know this is wrong, this is not right. But I guess, well, they're just following orders. And where have we heard that phrase before?
Again, it's hard for me to kind of maintain decorum. I have absolutely no respect for people who will do something that's wrong because it's their job. It's that simple for me. I have absolutely no respect for them. They are supposed to protect and serve Canadians. We're taxpayers. We pay their salaries. They're not supposed to serve as the enforcement arm of an overzealous and tyrannical bureaucracy. That's not their purpose. So they swear oaths and then they don't abide by them. And I just have absolutely no respect for them. And I have all the respect in the world for police officers who put their lives on the line and who behave honorably. I have absolutely zero respect for these. I don't know. They're like the mafia, you know. They're like the mafia in a uniform. What can I say? You know.
It's the term. The term was Hitler's willing executioners. I mean, it takes people to stop being human beings and just be human followings. And that's you imagine. You've got the media, which is funded by the Liberal government, the courts, which are appointed by the Liberal government, the RCMP, which is the armed branch of the government. This is abject tyranny. This is what it looks like. And just following orders is not an excuse anymore. And you know, going back to the Supreme Court, they don't want to get involved. Just like Pontius Pilate, just wash their hands. You guys go execute, carry out the ultimate execution, metaphorically speaking and literally speaking. This is what they did. They just washed their hands. Well, we don't want to get involved. We'll defer to the federal court and the Federal Court of Appeal, and we don't have to think about it. And the orgiastic rapidity with which they went in and slaughtered those animals after they got the go-ahead. It was like a kid waiting to lose his virginity. It's like, oh, I got the go-ahead now. Run right in. Bang, bang, bang in the night. It was psychological abuse, psychological torture, animal abuse, and it was facilitated by the armed goons at the RCMP. They should know it, and they should know it for the rest of their lives. Do they feel bad? I'm sure some of them feel bad. Good. Those are cowards. I'm sure there were a lot who were very happy to see how many they could kill. Could they take them out with one shot? There were people gleefully ready to jump in and slaughter those animals as soon as they got the go-ahead from the courts.
You know, Viva, the last 5 years, they haven't been that good for law enforcement. I mean, here at Rebel, believe me, we still back the blue, even though members of various law enforcement agencies will arrest us if they suspect we're going to ask impolite questions of Islamists or transgenders. Those are the two most protected classes in Canada. But going back to the COVID days, I'll never forget a barbecue restaurant, Adamson Barbecue, literally all the King's horses and all the King's men, the Toronto Police Service mounted unit came flying in to shut down a barbecue restaurant by force, even though 400 meters away was a Costco superstore with its food service facility running no problem. What do you make of this disturbing trend, I would say, Viva, of officers not following their oath?
Well, they are, look, I don't want to be generalizing, but you can't ignore the trend. They came in during the Ottawa trucker protest, beat the ever-loving hell out of veterans, joked about it in their private chats, which goes to show you they're not just following orders, they're rejoicing in it behind closed doors, pepper spraying dudes at Tim Hortons not wearing a face mask during COVID. They get off on the power, and ultimately they do have all the power and the monopoly of violence, and they love it. You know, you say, like, in any profession, there's going to be an 80-20 rule. 80% of the people are going to be decent and 20% are going to be bad apples, whatever. When you get into positions that are defined by their ability to wield power, that skews a little bit. And, you know, what we're witnessing right now is if there are any good cops, they sure as hell are silent to the point of uselessness. And what we have is an actual armed branch of a tyrannical government. It's full fascism in Canada, and I'm not being hyperbolic. You got media, you got corporations, you got government, the courts, and armed inflictors of violence. That is fascism, and it is modern-day Canada.
And Alexa, I'm sure you're in agreement with Viva. If anyone has an opinion of the overuse of force, it is surely you. That day, and I was with you, I was on the other side of the demonstration in February of 2022, you being shot in the thigh by some sort of a canister from a law enforcement agent. Thank God you were shot in the thigh. I say that only because if you were shot in the head, we might be speaking of you in the past tense right now. What are your thoughts on this?
First of all, it was not just law enforcement. It was the RCMP who actually shot me. We need to actually mention this because the RCMP is now the extension of the arm of our Liberal government. They are so politicized, and they are executing order instead of basing their action on their hope. I would say that I'm surprised to see what happened to the ostriches from the West Coast. I would more expect that from the East Coast, especially in Quebec, because we know we have like one of the, as I say, I back the blue, but when it comes to the Quebec police, we know. And we saw them during the convoy. They were at the front line. They put them in the front line because they knew that they will execute the order. But saying that in the West, now I'm actually losing faith to see good cops who are standing their ground and say, I'm not going to do that. This is inhuman. I'm not going to slaughter bird. For which reason, at the end of the day, this is invasion of a home, invasion of private property, and killing a family. Because you can say whatever you want, but those birds were part of the family of those owners. Because if the government will now be able to come and kill my cat if they decide that my cat cause a risk for the public health. And they will not need any proof of that. They just say,
we decide that your animal, it's a public health risk. So we are invading your home and we are just shooting your animal.